everybody? Welcome to another edition of Box Seats. Frank Holder here, show where we talk about sports with comedians. And I gotta say, it's time for me to change that intro. Anyway, let me bring in some of my dudes in here. T, what's up, man? How you doing, bro? My man T.
Everything good, brother. Everything good, man. Yeah, it's time. It's time.
Time to change that intro. Yeah,
Yeah. One dude don't even live in America no more.
yeah. I'm trying. See, there you go with that. Where you at, T? Because you definitely ain't home.
I remember I'm in Atlanta this weekend, rocking out at the Atlanta Comedy Theater underground location, right here downtown Atlanta. Just literally walked in the door, rushed to find an outlet and my tripod up and everything, ready for the show because this big news drop. So I can't miss the big news drop.
Yeah, and some more big news dropped just a second ago. My man Mike Sean is also in the building. Mike, what's happening, bro? How you doing?
Yeah, I canceled my haircut because just like Talent, I had to hit my barber and say, we have to reschedule. There are a few situations that are happening in the world of sports, and I have an obligation. And I was going to get the edge up. I was going to get the line all right. We had to delay that to tomorrow.
The lineup is on back order.
I was like, I ain't going nowhere tonight. I ain't got no shows. If we can reschedule, because you never know. I might trade my barber. The way it's going on now, I might trade him. You never know.
Trades are happening. My man Maurice Smith is in the building. Mo, what's happening, bro?
Yeah, I was on my way to the dentist, and I seen all the stuff that dropped, and I turned around. I stopped my dentist call. I stopped everything. I was just gonna get me a fat burger. I stopped eating for an hour. I'm not going to eat for the next hour.
Well, there it is.
I'm a drink, but I ain't going to eat.
Let's get ready to jump into it. First news before we jump into the big NBA trade news is because people say I don't talk about WNBA enough and everything else. I'm going to jump. We're going to definitely talk about the NBA in a second. There's a lot of big trade news happening. But T, let me bring you up on the major screen and let you know. The Las Vegas Aces are under investigation by the WNBA for allegedly making under-the-table payment offers to players they've been pursuing, players who are on the roster and players they've been suing. And the WNBA is trying to figure out how they are going to punish the Las Vegas Aces because this seems like this has been going on for years. Big, huge thing, especially paying players under the table. I never even heard of this before, but, it's something that's big and huge happening. So before we jump into the NBA news, let's talk about WNBA. Tell me what your thoughts are on the Vegas Aces paying players under the table. And some people pay it.
I don't care if it was the Lake Tahoe Aces. Turn a blind eye. The girls are making minimum wage. Who is that hater that's like, was that a 20? was that an extra 20? These girls are in the fight for their lives as far as salaries and contracts when you compare them to the men, right? So what? Somebody getting a few extra dollars under the table, how could you be clamping down on that? The WNBA is so far behind in salary. I don't expect them to make exactly what the men make, but when I tell you it's minimum wage on minimum wage in comparison, then if somebody's getting a few extra dollars, anybody that reported this, in my mind, in my heart and soul, straight hater.
Definitely one of the haters, I have to say that. But Mike, it's happened. They got busted. What do you think the WNBA should do? What do you think's gonna happen?
What they gonna what? I'm trying to be nice with this. Talon's absolutely right. Like, there's some players in this league right now who are leaving straight from the game and driving Uber. Like, what are you doing? Like,
right.
If you want to prevent this, make the salaries not comparable. I agree with Talent there, but make it that these girls don't have to leave a regular season and then go overseas and play an entire another season and then come back so they can keep their careers going. Y'all brought this on yourselves. The league brought this on themselves. Of course it's happening. I would love to see the amount that was paid under the table. And they probably won't disclose the amount. I may be wrong. They might not disclose the amount because we're going to sit there and go, so over $20,000 extra dollars, you guys are going to, we're not, I'm sure nobody got $2.5 million under the table.
Right.
I'm sure it was a $50,000 bonus of some sort like that. So it's ridiculous. And if you want raise the salaries, and you won't have this problem. But I'm not surprised it happened in Vegas too. I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Mo, you want to add into that?
Yeah, it kills me. All these women liberations, women movement, Me Too, Black Girl Magic, like nobody's going in to help the women of the WNBA. I always said Brittany Griner the situation never would have happened if she had a decent salary where she is
Right.
is playing at. That situation never would have happened. Why are they not looking at that? They looking at an American being caught in court, being held in prison rather, but they're not looking at the fact that she had to supplement her income. And she's
Right.
an international person. It wasn't like we didn't know who Brittany Griner before she got locked up. She's international. And her income, what I'm saying, like Tyler said, they leaving to do other different things, man. That ain't right. You know what I'm saying? That ain't right at all, man, for real. WNBA, sit your ass down.
There it is. Mr. Rodney Perry is going this too. Rodney Perry, what's happening, bro? How you doing?
What's going on, gentlemen?
All right, so now let's jump into the meat of what everybody's can't wait to talk about. I know I'm one of the people. I'm gonna give my 2 cents after talent. The biggest news that happened overnight. Kevin Durant got traded to the Phoenix Suns. The seismic shift has happened. I know you've been watching ESPN and everything else. Give me your 2 cents on everything that's happened. And do you think do you think this is because of what Kyrie Irving did and that all that shifted happened because of that? What's your take?
Well, I'm gonna say this, man. I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything yet. No comment.
Wow.
Oh, damn.
Heard it up?
Yeah, go ahead.
Damn.
Go ahead.
You back? You left for a second. You back?
I'm up in the Uber at 6 a.m. and the Spanish dude speaks no English. Is on a Spanish channel. I'm so tired. That's how I heard it. And then Durant, the Phoenix Sun, I said, I don't really speak fluent. I heard Suns in uniform in Durant. That's all I heard. And I immediately went to Google and start going. And I said, yo. Then I pull up the standings, Frank. Here's what's crazy. Kyrie went to one. He went to another team. And they're one step away from each other. Somebody's sitting in the 4th place. Somebody's in 5th. This is going to drastically change the spectrum in the West Coast. Of course, it's because of Kyrie. I believe that both of these gentlemen went to Brooklyn with a plan, a dynamic duo plan. And once that, exposed itself, they put it this way. They had 4 seasons, almost 4 seasons. And once it didn't come to fruition, the wins and the easy wins or coasting like they probably thought they were going to run through the East. Once that happened and things went right, no matter who went first, you knew the second guy was going. So I think definitely Durant's going, and that trade happened because of the first demand of the trade through Kyrie Irving. But now, boy, the West is something to watch, bro. And on top of that, because Brooklyn now has to start over, go Knicks.
Michael Shaw, what's your take on this?
As a Knicks fan, okay, can y'all trade Giannis to the West Coast and then trade Jason Tatum to send everybody? Like everybody go. I will say this. People are saying, I think people are like automatically putting the Suns in the finals now. And I think, listen, it's the media, it's us, everybody. We're like, yo, they're going to be in the finals. It took a whole off season before he went to Golden State's dynasty, and they got to play a whole season together. They're still gonna have to get to know when Devin Booker's getting the ball and when Kevin Durant's getting the ball. And thank God this ain't 5 years ago because Chris Paul ain't what he used to be. So they still got to get used to playing with each other. This ain't an automatic. Who I will tell you the pressure's on is that coach Monty Williams. You better make some noise with this squad. Oh, your job might be on the line. Y'all better go to the Western Conference Finals, which is so unfair because they gotta get to play with each other. It's gonna take a minute to understand how we're gonna use this superpower called Kevin Durant along with Devin Booker. But I was shocked, and listen, they're already the favorite in every media outlet. Everybody's already got them as the favorites going to the championship.
100%. Mo, give me your 2 cents.
Yeah, man. You know, like they calling it on TV, Brooklyn is the biggest disaster to ever not happen. You know, they this was supposed to have been the biggest championship, the best championship team, and on paper it looked great like that. It really did. And the only claim to fame is they only won one playoff series. That's it. All that hype, and I'm glad that the Knicks. I remember people were laughing at the Knicks because we didn't get Durant. I didn't want Durant. We don't need him, but I like the landing spot Durant got. I always been a Chris Paul fan. Always thought Chris Paul was one of the best point guards to ever play the game, and that formula there, you know, and they may not need too much time to figure it out because they all there. It's just let's put them in here and run with it. They may not need too much time.
Okay. All right, Rodney Perry, give me your thoughts on obviously KD being traded to the West Coast in the Western Conference. What's your take?
Well, first of all, I blame Chris Rock. I mean, he's from Brooklyn. He gets slapped in the face and everything just fall apart in Brooklyn.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
Jesus
Christ.
No. I know. Hear me out, guys.
Listen, I'm from Brooklyn. That ain't true.
Oh,
If you don't shut your face, I come over there and slap you too. That's what I'm saying. Hey, people ain't scared of Brooklyn no more. Used to be afraid of Brooklyn. But Chris Rock gets slapped in the face, and then Brooklyn falls apart. Let's talk about it.
Talk about it, yo.
There's an issue with the organization that is the Brooklyn Nets. Nobody's talking about it. However, these are the same dudes that didn't put their foot down when Kyrie said, "Man, I can't play." He's like, "Are you sure you can't play?" And they never put their foot down. And that's the reason everybody's getting out of this sinking ship called the Brooklyn Nets. Kyrie got off the ship. Durant say, "You ain't gonna leave me on this mug," and he starts swimming to Phoenix. Well done, Kevin Durant. I'm glad he got out. Can KD play with Devin Booker, DeAndre? I think so. I mean, I'm not even looking at Chris Paul as a player coach at this point in his career. I'm not even looking at Chris Paul. If he can play with DeAndre and Booker and KD, that's a great 1, 2, 3 punch. I love it.
Okay, all right. T. Now that my man, let me put you up on the Summer Jam. T. That the fact that James Harden, I don't know what's going on my computer. The fact that James Harden got out early, right? Number one, did he see things happening before we saw it? And is the Brooklyn whole idea of putting them together, was that the worst combo ever in all of sports? Because that's what I heard this morning. I was like, I don't know if I agree with that. But
I think no, I don't agree that it. I think the idea was phenomenal. Even us across the bridge in the Knicks, we were like wishing we could have had that dynamic duo. I think the problem is it's the organization. I think we're going to come to find out. Remember, we were talking yesterday about when Kyrie said, "I felt disrespected," and everybody's like, "They didn't disrespect you because we're not in those meetings. We're not privy to those conversations." But I guarantee you something there, because for this to unravel the way it did, let's go back. This is the second and third time we've been talking trades for both players. This ain't the first time you heard Durant. Remember, Durant came out first. I want to trade me. And next thing you know, a couple of weeks went by, they worked it out and went away. Kyrie, he had a couple of problems over there. We might have to trade him. Then he had a problem. I don't care, trade me. Then he demands the trade this year. So this has been going back and forth. The fact that your star players are doing this after making such a big splash in the pond, if you were to get there, it's something going on with that organization, bro. Let's think about it. Even Jay-Z left. He was the first one to demand a trade.
He got out of there.
All right, Michael Sean, do you think James Harden saw the writing on the wall? And is this collaboration of Harden, Kyrie, and KD the worst assemblation? And because it failed, you think it's the worst one ever in all of sports?
No, I don't think it's the worst one of all the sports because they made the playoffs. Maybe because of the expectations. I think when Carmelo went to Houston, that was probably worse. I think when Russell Westbrook did a stint in wherever Russell went was worse than than this Brooklyn thing. Wherever Russell landed, it was worse than this Brooklyn thing. I don't think it's the worst ever. I think James Harden stays. I hate to use an old corny phrase. James Harden keeps it 100. James Harden's about James Harden. And when he saw something was shaky, he didn't hesitate. He didn't care what the media was going to think about him. He didn't care what the fans were going to think about him. He said, this ain't going to work. I'm out. While everybody else tried to play both sides of the fence and try and look good for the media and then at the same time be a little selfish, James Harden was like, this ain't working. I'm out. It's like that person that stays in a relationship that sees all the red flags, but tries to keep up the look for everybody else in the family and stays in this relationship. And some people are smart. Some people are smart enough to go like, this ain't working. Nice to be around you for a little while, but it's done. And he was smart. And now this whole disaster. And Kevin Hart is such the passive aggressive.
Kevin Hart
in the Hall of Fame. No, Kevin Hart. Sorry, my bad. Kevin Durant. Freudian slip. Kevin Durant is the most passive aggressive athlete ever. When he left Golden State, we knew he left because Draymond cursed him out. When he left Russell Westbrook, we knew he left because he had a problem with Russell Westbrook in that situation in the playoffs. He had a problem in Brooklyn. He asked for a trade, and then he folded like a lawn chair. And then he's always the last. Now he's the last to leave. But he wound up in a good spot.
I can't agree with anything he said. There's nothing I can say. Yeah, Mo, what's your take on how? Because before you say anything, Mo, let me just say this: they played together for 16 games, and 2.5, 3 years they played together for 16 games. And James Harden saw the writing on the wall, and he, like Mike said, he was out. What's your take, Mo?
Listen, this is the new NWA. Nets with the attitude. All right, James Harden is Ice Cube. He was out. I'm gone. I'm out. I don't care what happened. Send me wherever. You know what I'm saying? Kyrie was Easy E. It was all about him. This is my thing here. We ruthless. And Kevin Durant is Dr. Dre. He just like, I just want to make music. Kyrie, I just want to play basketball.
That's good.
You know what I'm saying? And so now Kyrie is at death row. He's in Phoenix. That's death row now. He just landed in death row. You know, now they're gonna get him a Tupac to make some cuts with, and he out. This is the new NWA.
Okay, I like that analogy. I like that analogy. Mr. Rodney Perry, Uncle Rodney, talk to me, man. Tell me, do you think James Harden saw the writing on the wall and he's like, I'm out of here? Even though they only played 16 games together, all three of them?
I'm not going to paint James Harden as some sort of genius. I mean, he played poorly, and he was lucky to get out of there. James Harden is like when I spent my days in a strip club years ago. We had a young lady, and
what was her name?
Young lady,
China Dog. And
China Dog.
China Dog was a good stripper, man. She was great, but she had a little facial hair, and that was always a drawback. I mean, fine as all get out, but guys just wouldn't gravitate toward her. And even though she was a bad stripper, she knew when to quit, and she quit. And thereafter, the club fell apart, man. And so everybody looked at her like she was a genius, but she just had hair on her face.
Amen to Rodney Perry. Gotta give you that one, Rodney. Gotta give you that one. Mr. Talent.
God damn. Oh
Mr. Talent. The Los Angeles Lakers are in the news too because the Lakers traded away Russell Westbrook and they got a couple of good trades. They got a couple of good people on the back end. T, talk to me about what your thoughts are literally about the Lakers, because the Lakers ended up, where were we at? The Lakers and the Wolves, they got Russell Westbrook, ended up in Utah, 3-team, and the Lakers got back D'Angelo Russell in a 3-team trade. Russell Westbrook is going to get bought out in about an hour and a half. He lands on Utah. He's going to buy himself out. He's going to be able to go anywhere. So people are saying he might go to Miami. What's your take on the Los Angeles Lakers obviously becoming a better team? What's your take on that? See?
Well, first of all, let's be clear. If you got anything for Westbrook, it's great. Anything. Anybody can hit a bucket, you want. So he's got to go rebuild his situation, his brand,
Right.
his name. So he got a job to do no matter where he ends up. But for the team, this is good. Getting D'Angelo Russell back is a good move and a good look, I think. And I don't think that. I think that they're going to build and they're going to run and gun, man, and try to make a run for it. I mean, I think they're it's crazy. I was looking at the standings. The last 4 or 5 teams in the West used to be the shit.
Mm-hmm.
Look at those. Look at the standings, and go to the bottom 4, and you're gonna be like, "Get out of here!" All of these teams used to be the hoopla in the West Coast. It's not like that way anymore. So I think LA did what they had to do. We all been talking about it. Some of us are shocked that it took this long. I thought they would have got it done without having to get all the way up to the deadline. But if this is the best you can get something for them. Let somebody else worry about that money, worry about that buyout, and you start doing what you got to do for them.
So T, where do you think Russell's gonna land at?
I think it's gonna be tough, man. Where can he go and build? I think who will be desperate, seemingly enough, will probably be the Pelicans.
Okay. I like that. Good idea. That's one. Michael Sean, the Lakers made a trade. They got rid of Russell Westbrook. They got D'Angelo Russell. They had a couple other pieces. I even saw that they got Thomas Bryant from the Nuggets. No, the Lakers traded Thomas Bryant to the Nuggets. So they're getting a couple of picks.
They got Malik Beasley.
Yeah, and they got Malik Beasley. They're adding some pieces.
Nice player.
Yeah, they're adding pieces. What you think about the Lakers, what they're doing right now?
Shoot, if it wasn't for Kevin Durant going to Phoenix, I'd have been like, yo, this is a nice addition. They got somebody to hit an open three-pointer. You can add 3 extra assists to LeBron's average right now because he can shoot.
Right.
He can shoot. I don't know what happened to Russell Westbrook. Maybe I just didn't pay attention. Maybe all these years at OKC, I got so caught up in triple doubles and maybe I didn't watch enough games to know that he just was not reliable for open 3-pointers. That's the league now. You penetrate and you kick out. And if you're open, they need you to shoot at least 40% from the 3-point line. And that's what the NBA is right now. That's what the Lakers have. But unfortunately, at the same time, Kevin Durant goes to Phoenix, and that kind of puts a monkey wrench in all this. But I think it's a good pickup. I think this is something they probably should have done last year. But I think they've already got him number 5 now. Some people have taken the Lakers to the 5th spot. I don't know. We'll have to see if this works out. That whole Kevin Durant Phoenix Suns thing, man. And we're forgetting the Grizzlies are still good, and we're forgetting the Nuggets are still good, and we're forgetting a lot. So we'll see what happens.
And the Mavericks got better too.
And the Mavericks got Kyrie Irving. Damn it!
And Mavericks can't get about that either. Mo, what's your take on this situation right now, bro?
Yeah, Lakers got better. They did some things. They brought back D'Angelo Russell. They got them a butterfly floor general, who can help them run the floor. When they got the kid from Washington a couple of weeks ago, and Malik Beasley. So they got some shooters because if you remember, throughout the whole time when they were losing, that's all they kept saying. If we got all these other players, but we ain't got no shooters. They got great defensive players, but they ain't got no shooters. Maybe now they got some shooters, maybe Patrick Beverly can decide to show up and go to work and do his job because he's been, insignificant and he ain't been around at all. He ain't been doing nothing.
Yeah, out somewhere Westbrook was in the locker room going like, Bev got to stay? I gotta go. Wait a second.
And you know what? And Pat was like, yup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Rodney Perry, it's your team. The Lakers acquired Russell Westbrook as part of a 3-team, 8-player deal. They got D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt. The Lakers are sitting pretty right now. They looking really, really good. Russell's sitting on the outside looking in. You're on mute, Rodney.
All right. Again, guys, man, I hate to keep making these analogies, but it takes me back to my days managing the strip club, man. And I remember we was looking. Okay, so we had this young lady named Trixie, but she did everything well, but she just couldn't make a shot. So we had this novelty where the girls that were squirters would shoot.
Oh my God.
No, hear me out. So it was a thing. It was a big, so they would have shots, right? And people would hold their shot glasses up, hit their shot, and leave the cup where the girls would try to fill it up. Long story short, she could never make a shot. And we went to another strip club and we made a deal, and we brought in Miss Pam. And
AKA
Miss
Long
Pam,
Train.
we made a trade. Yeah, we brought in Miss Pam, and Miss Pam never missed. She could hit Miss Pam could hit a shot glass. Michael Sean, Miss Pam could hit a shot glass from across the room.
God bless her soul.
And she even, I wasn't even playing one day. I'm sitting at the bar with my back to the stage. She shoots. Frank Holder, you won't believe this. She shoots the shot. It hits the wall. Bounced into my cup. So, hey, I say all that to say this. This is a good look for the Lakers. Well done, Big Mo. This is a good look for the Lakers. And we've been looking to see them improve for quite some time now. And shout out to Pam, man. We lost her just a few weeks ago because of the bank shot.
I'm sorry to hear that because I was going to ask you for her contact information, but I'm sorry to hear that we lost.
I can still give you the numbers in my phone.
It doesn't mean your answer, though, right?
I love this show. I love this show.
Let me tell you something. I don't care what you say, friend. This is the sexiest sports show ever. Where can you talk about Durant and a squirter in the same joint?
I love this show.
No idea.
Hey, Rogers, for the record, that was a bank shot.
Rest in peace, Miss Pam.
It was over the back, off the wall, nothing but shot glass.
Nothing but shot glass. She would call it out too, Mo. She would call a shot.
In other news, a move that I was not looking forward to happened. Jay Crowder, who I thought was going to land on the Brooklyn Nets, guess what happened about 2 hours ago? Jay Crowder, who was part of that trade with Kevin Durant, ended up getting traded from Brooklyn to Milwaukee. So now Jay Crowder is landed back right now with the Milwaukee Bucks. A move that a lot of people were hoping it was going to happen. It happened. So
wow.
Here we are, 3 trade deals.
That's a tribute to Miss Pam right there. That's a bank shot.
Yeah, that's a bank shot. Jay Crowder now on the Milwaukee Bucks. Another major move that's happened that people aren't talking about. Milwaukee seems to get stronger and everything else. What's your thoughts on this, T, with the Milwaukee Bucks getting stronger?
Oh, I mean, you want what you want, and you get what you want. They may have got it not so directly, but he ended up where we said where he was going to end up. And I'm going to tell you another thing. Jay Crowder is probably the happiest man in the trade deadline. He's probably going to be the happiest player traded because, unbeknownst to most people, there's a strip club in Milwaukee with a squirter. Shout out to Jay Crowder. Let me tell you something. If he get hit by that girl, something like what Roddy said, they're gonna be calling him Jay Clam Chowder.
Ah!
This right here.
Contagious, Mike Sean. Go ahead.
Michael Sean, what's your thoughts on Jay Crowder landing on the Milwaukee Bucks now, bro?
Oh my God, yo. The GMs in the NBA look at the Brooklyn Nets like a dollar store. They just like, you can get whatever you want, dog. The Brooklyn Nets done gave the Suns life. They gave Milwaukee life. They gave Dallas life. Yo, they got rants. They got looted. There must have been a blackout. They looted the Brooklyn Nets. Like, they allowed Jay Crowder to go exactly where he wants. They wanted Kevin Durant, got exactly what he wanted. Kyrie Irving got exactly what he wanted. It's embarrassing. But I'll tell you what, Milwaukee has Jay Crowder in the position that he's supposed to be in, which is the key role player. Every championship team has those key role players. They got the Bobby Portises of the world. They got the Jay Crowders. Then they got their superstar. Then they got Chris Middleton. Then you got a Rule over there running the point guard. Drew Holiday over there. They happy as can be. And guess what? He sat out the entire season, so he's ready to go.
Yeah,
he's ready to go. Like, this is like Brooklyn. The NBA thanks you, Brooklyn. That we thank you. The whole NBA, even the Knicks, thank you for getting them out of the season.
Mo, what's your thoughts, Mo?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you. You just look stuck up here.
Yeah,
got
I do
stuck.
look stuck. I
It
know,
was the
right?
squirted story. It was all the
The
squirted.
squirted,
I
the
almost got stuck
squirted.
too. I almost looked at my phone and dialed up this number. I can't. I gotta leave that alone.
Okay. Trying to add. Yeah, let me go to Mr. Rodney Perry. Why Mo fix this thing?
God,
Mo,
I miss her. I miss her. God.
Rodney
Oh, my
Perry.
bad.
What's your thoughts?
My bad. My bad. I was talking out loud. My bad.
Rodney Perry, what's your thoughts, bro? On Jay Crowder land on Milwaukee Bucks.
Well, you know what, man? Mike Sean brought up a great point. He's been out of the games for quite some time, and you know, it reminded me of the days when I was producing dope films, man.
He won't
And,
stop. I love it. He won't stop.
Hold on, guys. Hear me out. So I was producing adult film, and they was like, "Why won't you put this guy in?" And I was like, "Man, you know, well, it wasn't that I wouldn't put him in. He wouldn't ejaculate." And so,
Oh my God.
what?
Whoa!
No, he took load management to another level. He said he talking about he was managing his load. I was like, man, come on, man, you got to shoot, man. And he's like, no. And so
I'm gonna stop beeping out Rodney Perry. I'm gonna stop.
I ain't say no profanity. You know what? Go ahead, Mo, man. I mean, nobody respects my contribution to this.
Yo, Frank, his head exploded 3 times.
I see Frank do this.
Oh, God.
Well, all jokes aside, when I was working in the dope film industry, that's what a lot of guys did. They were about low man because you didn't want to waste your load on somebody that didn't matter. So you would never shoot on an off day. You know, in those back-to-back days, they wouldn't do that stuff, man. So it's crazy to see it happen in the NBA. Jay Crowder's gonna benefit from this low man.
I'm gonna have to put out a PSA to all the women who are watching.
Listen. Check this out. Just go to the next question. If you think I will follow that act, if you think I will come after that one, just go to the start it over. Go to talent. No.
Mo,
I'm not following that.
Mo.
The problem is we comedians and we like little kids. Once somebody starts, we want to join in.
Yeah, Mo. What's your take on Jay Crowder getting the Milwaukee Bucks, going to the Milwaukee Bucks, bro?
Jay Crowder going to the Milwaukee Bucks. Yeah, man. Jay Crowder's a happy guy right now. You know, he ain't got to worry about too much. He knew where he was gonna go. Brooklyn, listen, and Brooklyn is not sitting back with no players. They got a bunch of ballers over there who can ball. They just ain't got no superstar. The only superstar is Ben Simmons. They can't count on him. You know, that's about as much as I can give you because I'm a little scared about load management and everything else that just happened just now.
Understand. Believe me, I understand.
You know, my career hasn't taken off. I might want to host something one day and they watch this film. I might not get. I'm not at that status where I can come out my neck yet. My paycheck don't say that. It's above my pay.
Mo got so fragile. He called this a film. Like.
Speaking of New York Knicks, T, I don't know if you heard about this because you was traveling, but the Knicks made a trade. They acquired Josh Hart, and they sent Cam Reddish and others to the Portland Trail Blazers, but they ended up getting Josh Hart. How are you liking Josh Hart in the New York Knicks uniform?
I kind of seen this writing on the wall. I think I'm gonna like it, but I seen the writing on the wall. Everybody who's a Knicks fan was scratching their head of Reddish and those guys. Why are they on the bench? They're supposed to be good. This, that, the third. We don't like Thibodeau. He's too hard. But it was above his pay grade. The fact that these guys that they shipped out, they were benching them on purpose because they couldn't risk any type of tweak of an injury to mess up any type of trade they were working on. I think I'm gonna like this trade personally because I've been watching the Knicks last 5 games alone. They're finally starting to get that continuity back of ball playing with each other, that consistency that they had a season ago before they kind of like hit the wall. And I'm starting to see that again. So I think it's going to be a good look for the Knicks. Knicks, I think, made out pretty good.
Okay. All right. Michael Sean, do you think the Knicks made out pretty good with acquiring Josh Hart?
In all NBA seriousness, I think we did. I think we're going to like. I think Josh Hart is going to fit in. When you start having names like Durant, Kyrie Irving. You start having all these big names make moves, and we get stuck with Hart, and it's not Kevin. You kind of disappointed. You're like, but I think he's gonna work. I think he's gonna improve the team. It's just after all this gets done, and maybe more trades on. You never know. Maybe Anthony Davis does get moved. Who knows? It's a small ripple in the ocean of the NBA, but I think he's going to contribute. I think he's going to contribute.
Yeah, I think so too. Mo, what's your take? You think Josh Hart's going to contribute to your Knicks?
Yeah, he's a good addition. I mean, we gave him somebody that was only pulling in 1 point so many rebounds for a cat who's averaging 8 rebounds per game. Even though his scoring average is not that high, he's great for his size on the offensive board. I looked it up and everything, and the fact that him and Bronson were teammates back in college, it might work out for them too also. So it takes off a lot of pressure from Mitchell Robinson when he finally comes back. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have to be our sole rebounder, because we got somebody else. You see, Hart, what he brings is what we need. We need that person who does stuff that's not on the books. There's never been a championship team that doesn't have that dive on the floor, extra, push, whatever, trying to get that extra point rebound on the team. And that's what he is. The Knicks is building a nice little team so that when we do get the superstar that we need, he can just slide right in because we got everything else. Josh Hart takes us from number 7 to number 5 easily.
And I feel bad. I'm not saying this to be funny, but it's the end of Derrick Rose because the Knicks can't even throw him in a trade.
No, they can't. Wow. They definitely can't.
They can't.
You get a new question, bro. You get a different question.
Thank you, bro.
You know what question you get?
I had to say what I was about to say, so yeah, that's good.
You know what you get. Will Anthony Davis see the end of this day as a Los Angeles Laker? Because I've been here and reading a lot of reports that there's a lot of problems going on in LA, bro.
Hey, I said it yesterday, man, and this whole thing with him staying seated during LeBron. I mean, they seem to be having a love affair up until a day and a half ago, and I think when you start to speak to a guy like LeBron's durability, he may have said something to the fact that AD doesn't have that, and that might make AD want to get up out of there and go prove that he is something other than just Captain Fragile. So I wouldn't be surprised if AD got out of there before days end. So we'll see.
Think there's problems I think there's problems in LA land too. I think there's problems in LA land. T, do you think there's problems in LA with the AD and LeBron?
Whose problem? Not AD.
Well, according to what the reports are saying, AD seems like he's having problems.
No, not AD. I think AD's problem is AD is his problem. AD got to get out of his own way. I think that sometimes a person can get the praise of a star too soon. And I think you try to live up to that. And when you do that, hence the injuries, you're trying to, and then when you go to a team and you're playing with supposedly the best player in the world, that's another mental step. I think there's a lot of mental steps in KD's career that he can't get out of his own way. I don't care where he goes. Think about where he came from before he was at the Lakers. He was still getting hurt. People's problem with KD has been the same. How, what the Fig used to always say, best ability, availability. As big and dope as we give him praise and the headlines he makes, he has yet to finish and he bring through. Just when you think you got him, he's not going to give you a full season. He has to condition himself. We talked about this yesterday. LeBron spends all that investment and money on one thing, conditioning. And a lot of, I would say 75% of the rest of the league is not. And that's why people have the different wear and tear on their body. That's why everybody's astonished when they look at LeBron. Like, damn, why he don't get no major injury? The dude did his work. If he had to spend $100,000 to learn the real biology, look at that. Meanwhile, AD think I'm whatever. I just step out and lace up. I'm good. Okay. Crack, break, stretch. He's been doing this since we've been watching him. No matter the team. He got to get out his own way.
You're breaking up a lot there, T. I don't know if it's just your connection to the hotel. Michael Sean, what do you think? You think AD is causing his way? You think he's going to see a Lakers being in a Lakers uniform by the end of this day?
Yeah, he's going to be in a Laker uniform. I don't know if he'll be there to beginning of next season. It all depends how the season plays out. If they make a run, he'll probably stay. They already won a championship, so and I get that. But to play with LeBron, you have to have a constant attitude. When you're a star playing with LeBron, you have to remind yourself that you are a star. You're not as good. That's why Kyrie works so well with LeBron, because I don't care how much attention LeBron got while they were playing. Kyrie believed, I am as good as anybody on this court. And it seems to me, since the injuries, Anthony Davis doesn't believe that anymore. And he's starting to just linger on a court, and he's starting not to take the shots that he used to take. He was an okay 3-point shooter. Then all of a sudden, now he shies away from this. Like when they made the run in the bubble, he was shooting 3-pointers. The game winner that he yelled out Kobe was a 3-point shot that he nailed. But his confidence seems to have wavered. And I think being around LeBron, you got to have the ultimate belief in yourself when you're playing with LeBron and you're one of the main pogs. When you're a co-host or a role player, it's easy because LeBron's going to feed you the ball and get you where you got to go. But I think Anthony Davis has lost his confidence with the Lakers, but he will be there today. Long story longer. He will be there at the end of the day, but he won't be there next year.
You know, the funny thing is, Mo, is I would have thought he would have been there all the way up to next year, but now I'm starting to doubt it myself too. So I'm going to ask all you guys this too. Do you think Anthony Davis will see the Lakers uniform by the end of this day today, or he shouldn't be concerned about that? Because the Lakers are making a lot of moves right now. They even made another move while we were on the air. Go ahead. What you think, Mo? Mo, you're on mute.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be there at the end of the day or not. It depends what's presented to the Lakers. Like I say, if I could predict that, I'd be a paid weatherman. But I can't do that. I can't predict that. So, but I think that AD, man, he's not happy. You see when LeBron got the scoring title. I know everybody saw it. Everybody saw where AD was at, right?
Yeah,
he was sitting in the corner. He was just sitting there chilling, like, I'm not impressed. I don't care. You know, he's not impressed. He don't care because they still lost the game. But he's the new AD is the new Sam Bowie of the NBA. You know what I'm saying? I'm surprised he didn't get hurt on the layup line.
Wow, that's terrible. Rodney Perry, do you think Kyle Lowry will be shipped from Miami to LA Clippers? Because Kyle Lowry is definitely going to be out of Miami in about 2 or 3 hours. We don't know where he's going to go, but that's what everybody's sitting there figuring, you know, that's what's going to happen. What do you think's going to happen with Kyle Lowry?
I mean, I like Kyle Lowry. I think he's a tough kid, you know, but I mean, the Clippers, we know the Clippers don't work, man. The Clippers, we even had Clipper issues for the past 3.5 years. I don't care who go there. I don't care how they get there. The Clippers just don't work. It reminds me of my years at the strip club. We had this young lady. Her name was Wendy. And we called her Wendy Mike Sean because she had an oxygen tank. And Wendy never could get this. She was a great girl, but she couldn't. Her lung capacity wouldn't allow her to get up the pole, Frank. And you know, although we called her Wendy, we were being a bit facetious. And
oh God,
here we go.
Wendy was just never the player we thought she could be, regardless of what team she was on.
Here we go. T, do you think John Wall will end up staying with the Clippers? Because he look like he's gonna get shipped out today too.
No, hold up, man. Wendy, come on, man. It's hilarious. It's disrespectful.
She had an oxygen tank. She did.
Yeah, Wendy with the oxygen tank.
Wendy with the oxygen tank.
That's perfect right there. I don't know. I think they're gonna hang with John Wall, man. I wouldn't ship him out. I mean, it's too soon. I don't think he gave him enough time. And plus, the Clippers are starting to ball too. So the West has got real interesting. I think right now, with everything else moving around, I don't think that's the move to do. If I'm the Clippers right now, we just started getting the ball going the way we want to, and there's been some shifts right around us that's getting real competitive. It's that. What am I doing for John Wall? I don't see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I definitely see that part. Mike Sean, do you think Zach LaVine gets moved before the trade deadline? Because he's trying to get out too.
I thought he'd be moved by now, but I guess other teams ain't trying to take that contract. And I guess they're not trying to add that salary. And the teams that are contending probably couldn't fit that salary in. And, the Bulls are going to be stuck with what the Bulls have. DeRosa and Zach LaVine. I am shocked that he didn't get moved, but there has to be some stipulations in that contract. There's got to be something where it's just impossible. I guess some teams don't want to go over the luxury tax. I guess some teams just don't want to make that commitment to him. But I am surprised. I'm surprised he's still with the Bulls.
Yeah, I definitely am too. Where's Mo? Mo, at the end of the day, your New York Knicks is up right now. They made a trade. They're happy with the trade. Do you think the New York Knicks are going to be done and sit right there, or you think they're going to make another move for the days over?
Nah, I think they might make another move, man. They're going to make another move. We got to listen, RJ Barrett is out. RJ Barrett is out. I'm living with it. He's out. RJ Barrett, we're going to get somebody that can take that position better than him, that we can just slide into that slot that can finally hit a 3-point shot other than once every 6 months or something like that. RJ Barrett's out.
Okay. Michael Irvin, Rodney Fair, where you at? Michael Irvin just got dropped as the NFL Network analyst for the Super Bowl after issued a complaint about his conduct during an encounter. That's what they're saying right now. Now, Michael Irvin said all he did was walk up to the woman. The woman approached him, and they shook hands, and nothing happened. She filed a complaint and said more than that happened. She didn't go to his room. None of that happened. But the NFL Network dropped him just like that. Fair, unfair? What's your thoughts?
I mean, I saw this story this morning, man, and I mean, we know Michael Irvin's pedigree, during the cocaine days, but he's clean and sober, man. And I think he's smart enough to stay out of these type of situations. I think he's a target, and until I see more, I'm gonna stay on his side on this.
Okay. T, the problem is that Michael Parsons, spoke up about the same thing. Now he's got to be careful where he go out and what he does and everything else. Now you were a celebrity, you still are a celebrity, but when you were on TV in the movies, everything else it had to be difficult for you also too. T, could go out. So can you kind of relate to what's going on with Michael Irvin and Michael?
Well, you got to see we in a sensitive time up with Rodney. He probably didn't do that drastic, but today it don't even have to be that drastic. That's the funny thing. You got to be a damn robot, or I tell you what happened. He just shook a hand, but hit him with one of them drugs with it. You can't do this. Can't do this no more. Hey, Mike, remember this? You take your hand. Can't do this no more. This little joint right here can't do this. That's illegal in 42 states, guaranteed. So everything is perceived a certain way. I said it for this movement. I said the problem is movement activity.
Yeah,
the intent.
Breaking up.
Yeah, you breaking up, Playboy. We can't hear a word you say.
Break up again?
Yeah,
man.
You hear me now?
No.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, we just can't
hear you.
Yeah, see, go ahead.
Can you hear me? No. You heard me? Yeah. All I'm saying, I said, can you hear me? Most said, no. You hear me? All I'm saying is a sensitive time where you got to be careful that if the woman don't like you like that, you're in trouble.
That's very true. It's very true. Michael Sean, what's your thoughts on this Michael Irvin situation? Because at the end of the day, it's kind of not fair that he got released from his NFL Network gig. You know what I mean? Super Bowl week too.
I hate to break the news to y'all, but this isn't the first time with the NFL Network that he had problems.
Yeah.
He had another situation that they had to settle. And this is where I worry. And I agree with everything the guys are saying. This is where I worry when Michael Irvin says this quote. I don't really recall that conversation, to tell you the truth. When somebody says to tell you the truth, they lying. Okay. And then Irvin said, we were out drinking. It was just a friendly conversation. What's up? I don't even know. I'm perplexed. You were out drinking. You said something to her in 45 seconds. You probably said, you shook her hand, said, you coming to the room? And she got offended. I mean, Mike got a track record. Mike's old school. Mike ain't part of this new generation. Mike's out there doing what he's doing and making it happen. I hope the man doesn't lose his job. But these comments and the way it's looking right now, when you got multiple situations with a company, and then this happens before the Super Bowl, they got to do this.
Yeah.
They can't put you on there and have you as a distraction when everybody starts going off. Can you believe they still got Michael Irvin on it? And to top it off, ESPN fell in line and took him off of First Take. So there's something here that went on. And, we all been in this situation. We all done said some things we probably regret saying, and it didn't cause much trouble. But Michael Irvin's got a track record, unfortunately.
Yeah. So Rodney Perry, Roger Goodell came out. Last question. Roger Goodell came out and said that the NFL officiating has never been better. Being that this is Super Bowl week, he wanted to make sure he came out with that. Do you agree that the Super Bowl, that the officiating for the NFL right now, as it stands in 2023, has never been better? Or what's your thoughts? Like, they even asked my man that this morning. What was the wide receiver? They asked the wide receiver that this morning too. What's your take?
I mean, it's all about perspective. You could say, if you say it's never been better, maybe the technology is better now. We got more cameras involved. We got more stuff on the field. So technically, it's never been better because we got more eyeballs. But how about this? We get to see more human error. We get to see, like, you got to think, back in the day, guys made mistakes. We just didn't know. Now it's like police violence. It's not that it wasn't happening, and you just didn't know about it. So now, with 1,000 cameras looking at the field, when a guy makes a mistake, it's a bigger mistake. We watched that playoff game with Mahomes and that team. Well, that was some huge mistakes they made that caused Mahomes and those guys getting into a position. Does that same thing happen 15, 20 years ago? Maybe not.
Guess it's the food for thought. Talent. You think the NFL officiating, being that the Super Bowl is Sunday, is better than it's ever been?
Hell no. They're gonna make the same mistake. Roger Goodell be drunk at the game. This joint gonna be the same. I'm with Rodney. Yeah, you probably got some good technology. Obviously, everything in the world is progressing from cell phones to TVs. So I guess the cameras and all that. Your replay, use your replay. All right. When in doubt, that's what it's there for. When in doubt, just take a look, take a peek. Some of these things be so obvious, and then they sitting there struggling, waiting on the challenge flag. I shouldn't have to challenge the real obvious ones. I should be challenges for the ones to the naked eye can get missed, not the big obvious play. So it's the same NFL. Of course, he's supposed to say that. We're 3 days, we're going to be watching it. So he's supposed to take the worry out of everybody. If I'm Hamlin, I'm going to get one of them flags, get a couple of protesters, run across the field. This game kill people. Then see how your statement works out, sir.
Michael Shaw, what's your take?
Yo, Roger Goodell, they didn't give you the whole quote. Roger Goodell's quote was, to tell you the truth, the officiating is as good as it's ever been. Like, come on, dog. We saw, what was it, 3 years ago, that blatant offense, that pass interference that the Saints didn't get the call for, and we saw that. Come on, man. I mean, he has to say that. He has to, he's got constituents that are relying on him to make sure that this is all viable. We just said yesterday there's $16 billion being bet on one game called the Super Bowl. So he has to defend the officials. He has no choice. Like, it is what it is. We know. But you're not going to tell me to not believe my lying eyes. Like, come on. Like, I see what I see. And yes, Rodney is right. It's because of more technology. But there's some more blatant stuff that they didn't need replay for. But he's got to do what he's got to do, and he makes $50 million a year to do it.
Maybe that's the truth. Mo, your take.
Roger Goodell, sit your ass down. You talk about officiating being better. Roger Goodell is about as bright as a dead flashlight. He ain't got sense at all. Okay, he up here. People are being robbed because of all these mishaps in the NFL. Roger Goodell, well, you know why they call him Goodell? Because that ain't his real last name. His real name, they used to just tell us his nickname. Because whenever Roger said something in college, the cats in the frat office said, Roger, go to hell. And he got the name Roger Goodell from Go to Hell Goodell. That's what it is. Go to hell, man. Go to hell.
There it is with that one.
Is better.
There it is with that one. Guys, we got to get ready to roll up out of here. You got to do another show. Talent look like he's in Atlanta. Tell everybody out there how they can follow you, bro.
Hey, go on to Instagram. Check me out, Talent the Comedian. I got 4 shows out here. Putting it down 2 Friday, 2 Saturday. I'll be on with Big Tigger in the morning, promoting it tomorrow morning. Shout out to the ATL, home of the great Rodney Perry. Follow me on Twitter. It's Just Comedy, and on Facebook, NY King Talent. Come on out, man. Let's pack this thing out.
Where you at tonight? Where you at, Talent? Which club?
Atlanta Comedy Theater Underground, Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
Friday and Saturday, 2 and 2.
You not working tonight?
I'm gonna pop out there with Mario Tori. He got a room tonight. I plan on going out there, jumping on stage, playing around.
All right, I'm gonna see if I can find you wherever you at.
Yeah. Reminds me of my days in the porn industry. I wasn't even filming these days, and I would just go and pop by.
Michael Shaw, tell everybody out there what's going on.
Dallas, the only former porn actor who did not change his porn name when he started comedian. He kept the same name. Talent.
Wow.
Check me out tomorrow, Media Room 360 on YouTube. The morning show, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. It goes down. So check us out tomorrow morning.
Mo.
Yeah, as always, Mo_comic on Instagram. Mr. Sit Your Ass Down on my TikTok. And your Talent, you gotta put tube socks in your all the porn stars wore tube socks. So put tube socks with Talent on
it. That's the
70s.
70s with the white people.
That is so disgusting.
The 90s? Yeah, need it, bro.
Rodney Perry, you got a story for us before we leave?
Of course. I'm glad you asked, Frank Holder. It's crazy that Talent would bring up his years because I directed a piece with Talent and Michael Irvin.
I knew it was coming. With Michael Irvin?
Talent and Michael Irvin. It's called Two Hard MFs. And they were outstanding. Well done, Talent, man. Well, good work, bro.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's Talent. That's Bo. That's Mike. That's Rodney Perry. Name of the show is called Box Seats. We talk sports.
Are you sure?
Because I almost said something else. We talk sports with comedians.
Yo, we need to write a script. We need to write a script of comedians who did a sports show, but after they got off, they were all porn actors.
Yo, you know what? Frank is sitting back, feeling like the brass over in Brooklyn. Like, damn it, they done took over the league. Now they done took over the team. He done let us take over. He can't get it back under
Brooklyn,
control.
we'd all be gone. Frank be sitting here by himself.
Yeah, he be here training us all.
Yo, my new porn name is Horny. My new porn name is Horny Curls.
We will be back tomorrow.
Shouts out to Wendy and the
Thank y'all for watching. I appreciate it.
My porn name is